well, and you ask, what's the 4 or 5 most important things. I think when you talk to employers, you talk to a lot of the companies that are located here in India, they want their new employees or their future employees coming out of college to have a kind of work experience or practical experience in the workplace. We would have a lot of companies that have chosen to locate in Ireland over the last number of years. There's about 1,100 international companies have built a base throughout Ireland. We have a lot of homegrown in industry and new businesses and a lot of new startups. Some of them have located here, like Kerry Group have come here as well to India. So we have an opportunity to get good placements for students into industry during their educational time with us, but also the visa system that we've designed now allows for a stay back here. When you're finishing education in Ireland, you can spend another year working under the same visa in a company to again further your experience, because we expect, and most students that come from India to Ireland return here and then get involved in a new company or a startup or an existing company here, but have a major role to play and are very employable, because Irish graduates is recognised in all the independent research. Irish graduates are very employable and very sought after. I feel there's probably a lack of respect for each other, a lack of probably effort. Like any relationship, it needs work and it needs time and it needs, and you have to come at it from agreeing that there's mutual benefit to everybody. And we do believe that developing our relationships through education will benefit both India and both Ireland, and that's what has to happen. And we will also see through the whole area of research, by bringing a lot of our people involved in our universities, our highest of talent, along with your own talents, and put them together on research projects over the years, which is happening through Science Foundation Ireland. There's a lot of effort there to drive collaboration at the university level and at institution level, because again, putting the best brains together can only give you great results. A number of things. I think it's a bit long-term strategic relationships that we'll be able to base trade on. We value the trading relationship we have with India as well, and we want to build on that, continue that in the future. And likewise, I think that Irish companies have a lot to offer into India as well, and there's quite a lot of trade there. So it's to build that relationship and to continue it as number one. That's best achieved, I think, through developing a relationship through education. We have a long history of being involved in education in India, and we want to continue that relationship. And we think a way to do that at the moment is to be able to offer space and room in our institutions for more students from India. That's why we have increased the number of scholarships available. The educational sector that's with me this week is about 15 different representatives from universities and from colleges, both private and the institutes of technologies are here this week with us at recruitment fairs, and there's over 200 scholarships on offer there as well. And so we're trying to, we want to get more students coming to Ireland, but we also want to see more students coming here and develop the relationships. I mean, UCD with Biz Pilani today signing their MOU, I think is an important development. There's over 60 other arrangements and partnerships throughout India as well between our universities and our colleges and so on. So we're trying to build on that because we think that's a great way. We can see India is driving your growth rates, which are quite high, through innovation and development, and new ideas, new products, and we're the same. Ireland has come through a tough time, as you might know, but our recovery has been driven by innovation and new people starting up new companies with new ideas, and they're all talents that have come through at the education system, and it's to build on that. To create employment for the future, but as I always say, it's also to design solutions to problems that are in society as well. Well, we recognise a very high level of education you have here, and the value is put on that. And we're similar. We feel the same. We believe we have a very high quality education. And our mark and our brand is well recognised. As I said, our universities are recognised as the top in the world. So it's to build those relationships where we can both grow our education system together and learn from each other. But I think it's great to have a mixture of students coming together and spending time, in different cultural arrangements and intercultural. And as I said before, in some of our universities, there's quite a high number of internationals coming together. But we also want to make sure that students have access to our lecturers and to our researchers. We have a lot of top people involved in universities in Ireland, and likewise you do the same here in India. And we want to try to make sure that we have that the students have access to them and feel close to that and part of that. key is a solution, and also as also a cause. A solution is to develop links and to kind of, I think you can do that by in our case, some of our universities are over 400 years old. Others are there hundreds of years, others are there decades, but it takes time to get the recognition that you're entitled to, and we recognise it. We've seen it because we're involved with a lot of your education players here. We know the talents that are there, but it just takes a bit of time to get that recognition. And obviously the companies are recognising it because a lot of companies are choosing to locate here in India. So that's how it changes over time. Yeah, we've had a number of education missions and trade business over the years. Education in Ireland doing a lot of work for us, trying to develop these partnerships. And I think probably one of the best developments that I've seen this week, it will be YES's agreement to develop the Science Gallery in Bangalore. We have as part of the Global Science Gallery initiative. There's going to be 8 developed over the years ahead. There's one in Dublin at the moment. The first one was set up in Trinity, and it's a major attraction to young people and encourages them to get involved in all the sciences and the technology and engineering and mathematics through arts, because that's the Science Gallery. It's a kind of a roaming exhibition will come. We've had 30 or 40 different exhibitions that come into Dublin over the years, showing off their exhibitions. And if you have the gallery set up here in Bangalore, which I think you will, it's going to happen now from YES's MOU that was signed, and your local government are very keen to develop that. The Minister spoke quite clearly yesterday, he wants this to happen. We're delighted to be part of that and to be bringing the knowledge to that, because it's worked well in Ireland. It's going to be here in Bangalore, it's going to be in London, it's going to be in New York, and Singapore and other places as well. So I think that's to me, it's going to be a great partnership that we can build our future arrangements on as well. Right. But as I said, there's over 60, at this stage I think about 60 different arrangements have been set up with different groups. I suppose for us the last few years has been driving the recovery of Ireland. We recognise that recovery has been driven by talent coming through the education system who are getting involved in companies in 2 ways. A, starting up companies and getting involved in Irish companies, but also we've had 2 or 3 of our best years of winning companies from abroad to come in to locate in Ireland, to use Ireland as a base, to take on the European market and to have access to the US market as well. But why did they choose to come? They choose to come because they recognise that the skills that we have in our workforce and the talents available that have come through our education system. And we've also put a lot of money into the whole area of research and development and innovation, and that's key to developing new companies. A figure I would use that might be useful: our unemployment has dropped by about 4% over the last 3 or 4 years. It went quite high there at one stage. It's dropped by 4%, and the majority of those jobs, those new jobs, have come from new companies that are innovating and driving new ideas. So it's definitely paying off for us. I think the best way to get value, be it taxpayers' money and to attract in industry money, is to develop collaborations and find the best talents in all our universities and all our colleges and the research community to come together and work on projects together where it's possible. We're trying to prioritise any government funding in the key areas which we think are a benefit and will in the long run develop products and jobs as well. But it's do that together, I think, and we've some cases of that already, when we need to develop that further, because it's about bringing the best people together to work on projects together internationally. There's a lot of money available. You might be familiar with Horizon 2020, which is a European research framework, and there's about an 80 billion available there to fund research and to fund some of these projects. So the best way to win that kind of money is to develop collaborations, which would involve, I would say, the research community from all over the world, different countries coming together, but also involving industry in that as well.